Well, hello Disc Golf family. Welcome to T-Box Media coverage of the 2022 Auckland Disc Golf Championships, hosted by Auckland Disc Golf. I'm Jake Brennan, and with me in the commentary box is Anthony Rodgers. Hello Anthony.
G'day mate.
Hello. Awesome.
Yeah, well, welcome whānau. We're here at beautiful Monte Cecilia Park for the final round of Auckland Disc Golf Champs.
So leading the way, Mark Dakiv. 14 birdies, 4 bogeys. He's played some pretty clean golf so far.
Mate, he is absolutely killing it.
Next on the tee box is the big man himself. 13 birdies. That's some pretty hot shooting.
Yeah, just got to get rid of those 8 bogeys, eh? And my partner in crime here, Jake Brennan, just throwing doozies all over the course. This was definitely a rip as well.
Only 3 bogeys. I was pretty happy with that. Trying to minimise the damage. And last out on the card is Jimmy.
Tui Tufu. Yeah, no, he's just coming back onto the scene again after a little hiatus, but mate, he is a ripper. He goes well. So we'll start off here on hole 1, par 3, 83 meters. Yeah, pretty straightforward to be fair. You've got just an intermediate hyzer with maybe like a mid, maybe a fairway driver for most. You just want to get around those trees and give yourself a putt. See, what I found pretty interesting on this is that Mark decided on a few of these holes to go standstill. He's definitely got enough power to get there with what I'm guessing is a Katuku.
Yep.
And he parks it.
Pretty nice shot there, pretty easy putt for Mark. Here's you. What are you throwing here, Anthony?
You know, I wanted to go Katuku as well, but I felt there was a little bit of right to left, and so I stepped it up to a fairway driver. Just went a little too flat.
Bit too much disc for the hole, do you think? Just
yeah,
drive that a bit.
Yeah. Well, looking at what you got in your hand as well, I imagine I should have just followed suit.
Well, I seen Mark throw his Katuku, so I thought I'd just follow suit and just go right around the tree. It's pretty stock hyzer, really. I think most players have it in their bag. It's sort of one of the ones you just practice on the field pretty regularly.
Yeah, well, it's definitely one you wanted to get for certain. Jimmy's got quite the RPM bag as well, and looks like he's going with you guys. Follow your vapor trails, and just a little low out of the hand, eh?
Bit low. First time on coverage for Jimmy in a while. He's had a bit of time off, so he's just trying to get back on the course and blow off a bit of ring rust there.
Yeah. Vortica sponsored player as well.
Nice, good approach there by Jimmy, giving himself a pretty easy tap in. What's your thoughts on a tap in putt versus a good length putt on hole 1? Calm the nerves.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think, you know, anytime you're on camera, you want to get the first one out of the way. I was definitely trying to give that a run, and you are taking your time here and smashing home.
That was a very nervy putt. I don't know if the camera showed it, but it took about a good 30 seconds to hit that.
You reckon you're in Nico territory there, were you?
I was just about ready to be called for it.
And Mark's pretty professional about how he goes about his business, and
good, and easy tap-ins from the boys here.
yeah, you definitely wanted to get this one. The first 2 you took a look at, and you really wanted to start your round off well each time.
Yeah, and that's hole 1. So hole 2, 57 meter island hole, pretty much straight out the gap, throw whatever you want, forehand, backhand, anything up. Just try and make the island really, and don't go OB, and then give yourself a putt. There is a drop zone, it's about 11-12 meters out, which I found in round 1.
Yeah, did you give the putt a run, did you?
I did, and I missed it. So just looking to get on the island this time.
At least you gave it a nudge.
Mark going standstill again.
Yeah, just knows his discs, knows how far they're gonna go. Anyways, gives it a nice run.
Wow, that was actually really close, wasn't it?
What are you going with here?
Just a overstable zone. Just trying to spike it on. I think it's actually really difficult to power down that much sometimes and just not throw the disc.
Yeah. I was between, if you can tell, I've got one of each. I had the Katuku I should have thrown on the first hole, and then I was throwing a Bear Mountain Kia there. Maybe just a little bit more nervous. Again, he's got power for days, so leaving that one short, I know I wouldn't have been happy with that.
Yourself with the comeback putt.
It's the first one of the day, you know what I mean? Just trying to get it right, get the juices flowing. What was that?
Did it feel good?
Oh, it felt great, actually, to be fair.
Now you put the pressure on me.
Yeah, well, you got the first one on me. I had to get the second one on you, I guess. It looks like we're gonna have a race to the end, trying to claw back on Markey. Great birdie from Jimmy, though. Looks like he was a little closer than we thought.
And Mark with the tap and birdie again. We actually spoke about this before the round, trying to chase Mark down and the importance of getting off to a good start. Very, very attackable course. I think 10 down is on the cards on this course if you play well.
Yeah, certainly. This was certainly a lot harder than it looks. Par 3, 74 meters. It's almost it's a manual pretty much just to get through this area here. The path's playing OB. You've got deep OB as well over that fence. Forehand the preferred play, maybe an overstable mid or overstable fairway. Mark, I believe, was going with a pekka there. It gets right up in the circle. Right? He's going to be hard to catch.
Looking to go 3 down through 3. Already in the lead. Mark showing why he's the highest rated player in this tournament. I thought you said this was a backhand hole. First 2 players.
I went forehand the first 2 days.
Yeah.
Went forehand the first 2 days, but I watched him nut it, so just figured I'd follow suit. Jimmy able to play through the debauchery going on in the background. We definitely had to do with a few dog walkers on the day, but I think we managed it well. What are you ripping on here?
That's my understable buzz. So I just a little bit high out of the hand there and just clipped the branch on the way through. But
and was backhand always a play for you, or were you debating a forehand? Or
I am one of those players that never debates a forehand.
Yeah.
My forehand's a bit of a joke, so I only play backhand. If you see me throwing a forehand, it's a James Conrad moment.
Well, hopefully we're going to see one come out of you today.
Yeah, nice putt there, nice clean up.
Thanks, mate. Just a nice little floaty straddle. I go between a straddle and a staggered putt sometimes when we're in the circle.
Jimmy to go 2 in a row. Nice.
Way to get it back, Jimmy. Mark. Taking his time for first turkey of the day.
Yeah, Mark's going to be really hard to catch with that start. 3 down through 3. Doesn't look like he's laying up, but it's right about now that I really felt the rain starting to come down. So.
Yeah, I actually literally had to run to the car, and Charlotte, one of the co-TDs, lent me an umbrella for the next half of the round.
The drone footage initially shows Monte, Cecilia, and it's really sunny and it looks all beautiful to play. And then we get out there and it's playing in the rain. I feel like it's very different because personally, every time I never practice in the rain. I just sort of see it and stay inside. But
yeah, fair weather golfers we can be sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hole 3, 130 meters here. Honestly, I think it plays very well for a forehand. I just turned mine over a little bit. But
Getting up the gap nicely, though, you'll have a pretty easy layup.
yeah, out the gap's all you need, really. I mean, this is a little bit of a bonus birdie.
Jimmy here trying to go turnover again and just catching that tree out the gap.
Just a little overturned out of the hand, eh?
Yeah, I was worried about it slipping out, but then I actually just grip locked it in the end, so I did the opposite to what I was trying to do. So I seen Mark here, he actually took a long time for his shot. I seen him try about 4 different options, and then he came back to the backhand, and he was a little out, and I thought he might give us a shot back on this one. Wow.
But in typical Mark fashion, he gets it up at least near the circle. Pretty good from that line.
Yeah, and gives himself a chance to save his par.
Lovely shot from Jimmy. Look at him just get the height right. And
very nice inside the circle.
what are you going with here in your upshot?
So I'm going with the Envy. I'm not too far out, and I just want it to slowly fade in and just drift and not too high.
Pretty good effort there. Especially get under that tree right in front of you.
Awkward little forehand for you. Are you trying to run this?
Yeah, give it a little cheeky geese. Worst case scenario, there's a little bit of a backstop there, but I just love it's one of my favorite shots in disc golf, that any forehand flex. Just a nice stable Kia.
Oh, Mark with the edge of circle putt to save his par.
To be like water. And the showers seem to have subsided. It was just for the drives, I guess.
Oh, Jimmy.
Hard luck. He just seemed to have a little bit extra pressure on him today. Going through your rhythm. Great putt, mate.
Yeah.
Good up and down.
This is actually my first time on coverage, so it's actually very strange watching yourself on coverage for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like I'm very smooth, but in coverage it really just doesn't look like it. Jimmy here with the cleanup.
Looks like Ollie Webb was the only one to get this one on the day, at least from the MPO cards.
Oh, it's a really good birdie to get. So we're on hole 5, 120 metre downhill, par 3. Most players here probably throw a mid-range, just drift something in. Anything more I felt like goes a little bit long.
I guess unless your name is Eldon Pascal and you just throw it in for one, eh?
Yeah.
Shout out, buddy, for the Hui ace.
What a hype moment for the guy. It must have been something special. I was playing 2 cards behind him in round 2 and I heard it.
Yeah, it's a massive park, but you can certainly hear a moment like that. And I think we were all cheering for the fella. He put in lots of hard yards. Putting the course together today with the rest of the Auckland club over the weekends.
You following Mark's line pretty similar there and getting through. Nice, giving yourself a putt there.
Yeah, no, I threw pretty much the same throw all 3 rounds, just going a little bit more understable, just on a pop-up. You going buzz here?
Yeah, this is my stable buzz. I was just trying to put on a little bit of an ante, throwing downhill, and juiced it.
Asking for it to stop there. I think we all thought it was going to be quite a bit further, but you're in a decent spot there, at least just to get up and down.
Yeah.
Jimmy just getting a little too high out of the hand. Up there by the tee box, the next hole, I think it'll be alright to get up and down from there. Eh?
Jimmy here, leaving his approach shot just a little bit short. He'll have a putt, but we'll see how he does. Mark with the long bid.
Definitely looks like he was giving it a sniff, eh?
It's a wee bit of a roll away, but he should have a pretty short putt for his par.
Bit of foliage in the way, but you get up and down. And he is human.
Yeah, first sign of nerves there for Mark. Just leaving that one a little bit short of the basket.
Just a little short from Jimmy there as well. Looked online though.
One thing I did notice about Monte Park, a lot of baskets on hillsides and a lot of chance for rollaways. So there's, I think that plays a little bit in the player's head, you know, just really committing to that shot, and if it goes over and goes far, you're obviously faced with a pretty long comeback. Didn't matter to you though, making that putt. Nice.
I was happy to get one back. Certainly need to push.
A little tap there from you.
Hey, you know, it's all love on the card.
A little bit of friendly banter, as you can see, we're pretty close on scores. You're actually up on me. I didn't realise at the stage 2 up.
Yeah, I came out the gates all right. But again, I mean, even as much as we're battling each other, we're trying to claw back on Mark. He gives us each one at least there.
Alright, hole 6, 25 metre, sorry, par 4. Players are just looking to throw a hyzer out, landing in the middle of the field. Anything up past the pine tree on the right and the tree on the left gives yourself a bit of approach. The pin, the approach shot on this one is blind, going over the trees. You can sort of see the top of the basket, but most players will just be trying to use that tree in the background as a bit of a guide and throw something overstable over the top there and try and give himself a bit of a putt. So yourself going low line there, just trying to get out the gap.
Yeah, really just trying to get to the other side of this hill and give yourself decent footing. Honestly, you just want to get far enough to be able to give yourself a look on that second shot. What are you throwing for your max distance here?
So this one was my nuke.
Well, you definitely nuked it, mate.
Great line, bud.
You made a joke about wanting to turn the cameraman. You certainly did a good job of that.
Yeah, it's a pretty special moment actually.
We get a warrior yelp from Mr. Dakiv as he wails on one of his Qataris and ends up looking pretty good on the high side.
Yeah, he'll have a pretty good approach shot from there.
No.
Mark asking for it to turn and not quite getting the turn out of it.
Yeah, I know the run of pink kahoos that he was throwing there. I think he definitely thought that was going to come out with a little bit more flip, but I think he's doing the smart thing here and just trying to lay up to the far side and
yeah, dodging the dog walkers. That was a bit of a theme of the day, really.
And Mark playing goalie there to assure that nobody gets hurt.
You going fairly wide on this one?
Yeah, you know, I went too wide all 3 rounds. I went deep once as well, and so just trying to get my bearings right to get over for a putt. I saw how well you smashed yours, so I figured you'd probably gonna get into a good spot.
Yeah, I think she made it through.
Yeah, he'll have a good look for his birdie there.
Marky did get through. Again, we're graced with the weather again. So you're just a little intermediate hyzer here.
Yep, this is my kotuku again.
Lovely.
Jimmy with the thumber.
I thought he juiced that. I thought he was going to end up deep in Mark there as well, but ends up being alright. I step up, and again, as you're talking about, this is just at the edge of the hill. But, you know, it's 6 holes into the last round, and I know we're still a few back on mark. Wanted to give this one a good bid.
It's a conservative run. Yeah, there's just a little bit of a downslope on there. Did that play in your mind at all when you're going through your routine?
Certainly, yeah. No,
yeah.
I mean, most of my step putts, I usually like to give them a little bit more juice, and it was a bit more of a floaty bid. It's like Mark gives it a floaty bid himself. You guys are having a conversation about your 2 lies here, and somebody's closer. Taking your time.
Really took my time on this one.
Well, looks like you're pretty chuffed to get that one in the bucket as well.
Yeah, it was a birdie that I really wanted to get at the start of the day. I thought I could get it, and yeah, really happy to get that one.
Good on you. Who else got it on the day?
So no one else actually got it on the day, but Bruce NG was also got it in the tournament. So shout out to Bruce.
Well done, Brucey. Yeah, no, it's gone between a 4 and a 5 a few times throughout the years, and I think it's certainly a good par 4.
I think it's a true par 4.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty. If it plays as par 5, I think a lot of people just play it for 4. And, but I think playing it as a 3, especially for the MPO card, is a bit of a tester. So
Yeah,
I like it as a 4.
Fun to test the game. Mark, no harm, no foul. Just gets up and down for his par. Jimmy just getting hard luck. I think the disc mates usually are pretty good catchers, but maybe just the extra moisture. Unfortunately, I have to take a double on that.
Unfortunately for Jimmy.
Hole 7, par 3, 115 meters. You know, I really felt like this was definitely gettable, but still a bit of a bonus birdie. You got 2 gaps to hit. This gap on the left-hand side, or just outside that tree on the right. You just want to make sure your highs are back towards the bucket. There's lots of places to get hung up on this if you go early left, or I think even deep right's a better play. You matched on that same nuke again, are you?
The same nuke. Yeah, I'm looking to just put this on hyzer and hoping it just pops up just a wee bit, and because I think you just want to hit the gap on a hyzer, but something that just pushes just a wee bit just to get that penetration. The pin's about 30 meters past the gap, and I thought I threw it pretty well, and I was wondering. There we go.
Just clipped that last tree you wanted to miss just before the one right before the bucket.
Yourself taking the wide route.
Yeah, no, I think again it just was the safe play. Figured worst case scenario, I get up to within circle 2, try and see if I can't give one a run.
Mark with the iconic key eye. Certainly gives it, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, certainly.
That is in trouble.
As you pointed out there, Jakey, he is in trouble.
Yeah, that's not where you want to be.
I think we had a wee moment here just watching Paul and his acrobatics just to get in there and catch the shot from Jimmy.
Yeah. It's Mark deciding really how he wants to lay up here.
Oh, maybe not so much of a layup.
Actually gives it a run.
Maybe he feels a little bit of a breath on the back of his neck, eh? Jimmy does well just to give that a bid from where he was.
You trying to run this, Anthony?
Yeah, I had a bit of a think on it and was trying to get there. Again, the holes are just running out, so I want to give it one, but instead just meow. You're having a nice think about this one as well. Do you like going to the straddle, or?
Generally not a straddle putter, only when I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my preferred putt at all. It's one that I feel like I should practice more, but
Yeah, I think just playing golf in New Zealand, you often have uneven footing and are left with just something that's not going to be your normal stance. And yeah,
lots of trees inside circle one, especially at Monte. I found, yeah. Good. Hole 8, pretty straightforward. 67 meters, OB all around. The OB, it's about 15 meters on each side, so really straight up and down. Playing is a must get for the MPO card, really. Just throw whatever disc you want straight at the pin.
Give that a nice amount of height, and you pinned it.
I hope to make that putt.
I was going between a few different things here. I didn't have much luck on this one the first couple rounds, and like you said, this really is one you want to get. And I just end up sawing one off.
That is not it.
No.
Mark with the standstill again.
I think he's going with either a Takapu or a Ruru. I'm guessing Takapu because I think he's got a few older Rurus in his bag. And that's what you're looking for. Speaking of Rurus, I think that's what this is for Jimmy. The same pretty blue one he's been throwing all day.
Yeah, nice from Jimmy. He's had a few rough holes in a row there, so good to get one back inside the circle and have an easy putt.
Well, while we're tapping these in, just wanted to give a few shout outs. Again, shout out to Bob Gentle, Gentle Sports. He's been running a tournament here at Monte Cecilia for almost 20 years. He's finally given it all over to the Auckland Disc Golf Club. And again, Ryan Smale and his first TD efforts with Charlotte and the rest, Eldon and the rest of the team. Disc Shop certainly lending quite a hand to put out all the baskets. I think Hayden donated at least 9 baskets to the effort as well. So good club effort.
Yeah, the whole club really pitched in on the practice round. You've seen them all around there putting out flags and whatnot, so good from them.
Yeah, cheers. We greatly appreciate it. Last hole on our front 9 here, par 3, 77 meters. A little bit of a drop off right here at the end, but honestly, I think if I'd have played it again, I'd probably test that backside. There's a lot of players who just ended up leaving this a little short. Quite often, as you can see here to the left, we've got walkers and what have you. We just want to make sure that we're never putting them in danger. But what'd you rip over on there?
That was my understable buzz. Just
wish you would have thrown the stable one, or just thrown a little different.
Yeah, like you just said, I think the hill at the back was playing in my mind there. I didn't want to go long, but I'd also just committed to the shot a little bit more.
It doesn't really look like there's much headwind. There was a bit of headwind on this hole for most of the first 2 rounds, but Markey plays into that and just throws, I believe, what was a 2-y to inside 5 meters.
Yeah, it's a simple hole, and Mark's a class player, so he's not missing that one.
Jimmy takes the path less traveled and goes for the high hyzer. I think we'd all joked about taking that route, and didn't do so. Again, I'm just between a putter, what I should have probably thrown, and this poorly thrown fairway driver. Whoops-a-daisy.
Yeah, behind the bush is not really where
it's not ideal, mate. It's definitely not ideal.
It's not OB, though. It's not OB.
But, you know, trying to show off my 1,000-rated scramble skills here.
Anthony Rodgers using all 7 foot of himself to lean out of the bush.
And again, I know that we're on the 9th and really just want to start putting a few in, so got to at least give it a nudge. But goes begging.
Jimmy with the low run.
Yeah, I think he went a little past. We'll have a bit of a tester coming back. You wanted no part of that, eh?
Oh, I wanted every part of that. Every part of me wanted. Practice round, I'm running that, but I know you and I are even for scores here. So
Were you looking at the scores whilst we were going? Were you?
I had some idea. I knew Mark was up. I just figured that that was one I just stepped up and I just didn't feel confident. I feel like putts, you got to feel the putt, and if you don't feel the putt, just lay up.
Hey, just a reminder: make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Make sure to give T-Box Media. Go online, stay up for all the new coverage coming out.
We joke about the like and subscribe button a lot, and I know everyone says it, but it really means a lot to Paul, and it just means it's just shows a bit of help for him, and goes a long way. So just do it.
Yeah. Well, we're just coming around to the longer holes on the backside here. Front 9. I mean, really pretty even. Bark, the breadwinner here with 5 birdies and a bogey for 4 down. You and me just chasing each other's tails with 3.
Neck and neck as we've been all tournaments. So join us again for the back 9. There's a few bombers there. Look forward to seeing you there. See you soon.